Hello, I'm Scotty. Welcome to Scotty's Playtime. And second time trying to get this video done because the first time I forgot to turn the microphone on. Getting old is not good for my old noggin here. But there is something I want to get off my chest, something that is bothering me greatly, because I lived through it. See, I listened to Cenk Uygur go on. I've seen clips of him. I long ago left TYT. They made that hard right shift because they didn't like homeless people. Anna had been accosted by a homeless man and felt threatened, and they just thought that crime was running rampant when it wasn't, and all sorts of just hard right shifts they made. But one of the things that bothered me the most was the throwing of trans people under the bus. We don't need LGBTQ. All we need is LGB. LGB, that's fine. The rest of the country doesn't care about the T. Well, I got news for you. Cenk says, look, all we got to do is don't say anything on it. Deny them. Pretend we don't like them either. And then when we get into power, we'll push through all these pro-trans laws. That's not how it works, and that's not how it worked for gay people. I was a gay teenager in the 1970s. I know the kind of crap that was put out against us by Anita Bryant. She had my adopting parents, I don't know how you say it, the people who adopted me, all convinced that all gay people were mentally ill and damaged, and it just drove me crazy. You know, I mean, because I knew I wasn't like that. I wasn't even like them. I wasn't abusing a little boy. I didn't know any other gay people, not until I got into the military. I want to tell you, that was an eye-opener and some fun, but that's stories for another video. So, how did gay people gain acceptance? How did our status rise in society? Well, I'm going to tell you. We got into people's faces. We got into their spaces. We demanded our rights. We didn't ask meekly. We protested. We had pride. What do you think pride originally was? Pride parades were not galas. They were protests. We're here. We're queer. Get used to it. And then we came out to our family and our friends. We said, hey, you know, the shit you're talking about gay people, do you feel that way about me? Well, no, Scotty, no, you're a hell of a good guy. Yeah, well, I'm also gay. Really? And for over 10 to 15 years, I learned that straight people have very little conception, or did back then, what gay people were. And they would ask the most blunt, invasive questions you'd ever think to ask. I wouldn't dream of going up to a couple and saying, hey, can you describe your sex life? Where do you put this, and who does this? But they felt it was okay, and I learned that if I wanted to convert these people, I had to respond. So I did. My first job out of the military, well, second job actually, but first full-time one, third job actually, but first full-time work. I worked in a bar for a while, gay bar. That was fun. Didn't learn anything, except some gay people you can't trust. And I worked for a startup sugar company, but that went nowhere. They went bust. So, but my first real job was at a nuclear plant. Armed nuclear security. Sounds great. I had a private detective license and I was an auxiliary deputy sheriff. All sounds very impressive. And I was good. And when it came time to take the supervisor, they needed a new supervisor, I took the test. Took it 3 times. For some reason, they kept asking me to do it again. Turned out I was the highest scoring person on those to ever take those tests. And they wouldn't give me an interview. And finally, the training officer came to me and said, Scotty, here's the thing. I think you're a real good guy. I like you. But there's no way in hell any man is going to follow the orders of a faggot, of a gay man. So you can stop running. And I said, no, I won't stop running. I demand a fucking interview. This is Vermont, damn it. So they gave me an interview. And then, of course, they told me I didn't get the job. They brought in some guy from some bullshitter, some Trump, who would call the hospital pretending to be a doctor to ask about his mother. All he had to do is say, I'm so-and-so, and my mom is so-and-so, and I've worked in hospital. I know that you can get that information. You don't have to pretend. He was a serial liar, and he got them in big trouble. But hey, he was straight. So that's my point about trans people. That's what the right wants them to do, wants all of us to do. Shrink away. Stay quiet. Be afraid. Back in the day, I got beat up. I got attacked at work. I got lost promotions. I outright got fired from jobs as soon as it came out. And it came out pretty soon because I didn't hide it. I was proud to be an out gay man who had done 2 tours in the U.S. military. And so we became their lawyers. We became their doctors. We became their neighbors. You know, the neighbor that rushed over and helped you mow the lawn when you broke your leg, or helped you with some other project. We became that people. And public opinion changed. And it got better. Kids in school were taught tolerance. They were given anti-bullying programs. Do not target the kid who's different. Being different is good. Being different is wonderful. Accept it. Tolerate it. If you don't like it, you don't have to, but you're not allowed to hurt anybody for it. And then the right wing came in and they wanted it all to go away. They wanted to roll it back to 1950 where white male Christian men, cis straight, were in charge. Women were subservient to them, needing even permission to have a credit card or to leave the house. Women couldn't get jobs unless their husband agreed. Black people knew their place in the 1950s, and they stayed there. At least the whites tried to keep them there. And the LGBTQ plus were in hiding, terrified to be exposed in case they lost their homes, lost their jobs, and everything. And that's what they want to return to. That's what Project 2025 is about. That's what's being pushed by these fundamental Christian haters. They want to return to a homogeneous society like Russia. Why do you think they like Russia? Authoritarian leader who just outlawed a whole section of the community. We don't have any of those LGBTQ plusies here. We just make them illegal and they go away. And if we find them, we put them in jail. That's what the Ralph Reeds and the Tony Perkinses and all the hate preachers want. That's what the Moms of Liberty want. That's their Christian goal. Moms of Liberty said in an interview when she was told she lies about a lot of stuff, she said, so? There's no law against lying. Yeah, that's good moral Christianity for you right there. So no, we need to stand up for the trans people. The Democrats dropped the ball. When the Republicans were hammering them on that, the Republicans spent millions and millions and millions of dollars on trans issues that didn't even come up. But you know what? Kamala Harris should have proudly stood up and said, yes, God dang it, I do support the trans people. I support trans kids. Well, kids aren't allowed to smoke or anything, so how can they be allowed to? Because with the parents and the doctors, kids may not be allowed to smoke or drink, but they know what they feel. They know who they are. And on this new law about conversion therapy, they're trying to, the Supreme Court's going to hear a case from Colorado on whether or not they can ban conversion therapy. It's torture. And if you think it works, go try to be converted from whatever you are to gay. If you think it works that well, we should be able to turn an entire community gay by running them through these programs. It doesn't work. It's torture. All it does is cause people to hide. You can change behavior, but you can't change the internal feelings. So no, don't shrink away. Put a flag up. Yes, I know mine's in my room, but I'm moving out to where the room is all windows. Everybody's going to see that flag, and it's the door they're going to come into the house through. And I'm going to be doing other things. I'm going to get t-shirts that have pride flags on them and that. Don't shrink. Be out there. If you hear somebody say something and you're in a safe enough position to do it, somebody says, oh, them goddamn trans people are raping women in bathrooms. You don't have to be trans or claim to be trans to go into a woman's restroom and assault a woman? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Nobody becomes trans for a day. It's a lifetime. Anyway, don't shrink. Get out there. Be in people's lives. And when they ask questions, answer them. You'll be surprised how fast you can change people's opinions. Anyway, I'm Scotty. This is Scotty's Playtime. And as always, for everybody, there's best wishes. And for those that want them, warm hugs. And now I gotta find that off button again.